What's up guys? Today we're going to fly a very beginner friendly plane in some wind. Hey everyone, I'm Nate.
And I'm Abby.
Amelia's hanging out with Abby, and Popeye is not up here today with us because we've got some flying to do. We're the RC Sailors. Welcome to our RC family. Today we're featuring a new plane at our airfield, which we encourage you guys to check out. We'll have information on our airfield linked in the description box below. This is the Hobby Zone AeroScout. This is a new plane to just hit the market, a very beginner-friendly plane, and comes in at a good size and good price point. We'll have it linked in the description box below. Buy the information for our airfield. I really am impressed so far. The easiest and best part about this plane was the build process. It only took me about 5 minutes. Probably the fastest plane I've ever put together. The landing gear actually snaps on the two main wheels anyway, and they snap in very tight and very firm. The front wheel is held on with a little screw. It's getting so windy, I'm going to keep getting closer. And it was just super easy to build. They even gave you the screwdriver needed for the build. Believe it or not, the rear stabilizer is just snug fit on there, which is kind of cool because check this out. I think I'll try to give a little elevator demonstration here. Look at that. The entire surface moves, and that's the first time I've ever had a plane that does that. I like that a lot. We have rudder control and aileron control, and the rudder steers with that wheel on the front, so I'll be curious to know if this can taxi in grass. I think it will be able to. They even have attention to detail such as the CG markings on the bottom of the wing, so you know when you put your battery in, you put your fingers on those bumps. Now it's very windy, but you can see our CG is spot on despite the wind pushing me around. The canopy here is held on with a rare earth magnet, very strong, and a little foam tab up front. And it comes with a very nice smart battery, 3-cell 2200 milliamp LiPo battery. It also comes with a little USB charger that charges that battery intelligently as well.
It's an IC3 connector, which is compatible with EC3
yes.
and XT60?
Yes. Now the $200 setup also comes with a nice Spectrum DXE S, I think.
No, just DXE.
There's an S on there.
Maybe it is S.
There's a little S on there, and it's a 4-channel plane, but it also has a arm disarm mode. So now that it's disarmed, we can't hit our throttle and accidentally move that prop. We have 3 flight modes up here on the top left, and then we have 2 rates here on the top right. So low rate and high rate. Guys, this thing comes completely ready to run and just so impressive. Last but not least, the main wing is held on with 3 screws here, and I don't know if I have ever had this before, but these are all finger tightened, okay?
I like that.
And they encourage you to just barely snug it down. The first few times you use it, it might be a little tighter than other times, but it comes apart very easily. I kid you not, 5 minutes in the air. All I had to do was charge the battery. That took longer than building the plane. And how often can we say that, guys, airplane guys? That's pretty rare. Well, I think this is a beautiful plane, a beautiful design. I think they've done an amazing job with this. I'm very much looking forward to flying it. I hope you guys are looking forward to enjoying the flight of this. Keep in mind, some of the background noise you're going to hear today are from our club members. We just picked up quite a few new club members. Our club is on a very strong upswing right now. And if you're in the area at all, I sure would love to see you guys come down and be a part of it. We have some really good people in positions right now, encouraging newcomers to get into the hobby. With a plane like this, it's a perfect fit for our club. So let's put this in the air. Well, one thing I'm interested in trying with this is to see if it's able to taxi, and I need to gain a little more distance anyway, so with those big wheels I'm hoping it can. Now this is a nicely mowed airfield, bear that in mind, but I got the wind to my back. I'm holding full up elevator just to help. Should always do that when you're taxiing. It's very wet, it's been raining a lot, and we're not getting bogged down too bad, and I'm about half throttle or so. So that's good. Let's take off. Get some speed going here. Don't need a whole lot, and we're in the air. Well, that's great. We are in the most basic flight mode, so the beginner flight mode, and I'll fly closer, don't you guys worry. And then we also have, like, as flight stabilization is on, but I'm in the higher rate, so I have a little more control over the plane in this wind. You see there's full bank, even in the beginner mode, full bank. And when I give it bank, I believe a little up elevator is applied with the right stick. Look at that, hands free and all this wind just flying by. This thing is great. Now I'm interested to see what the rates look like, so I'm gonna go into low rates. I'm in the lowest rate and that's a full bank. I'm pushing over as far as I possibly can right now. That's a pretty wide radius. Watch this, there's full right, and I'm only giving it right aileron, no up. I do feel like I need to give it just a hair of up, but I'm also not at full throttle. I'm just kind of cruising, so I prefer the high rate. I think you would too, Abby, so boom, high rate. You can switch that anytime you're flying, so that's really nice. I'm only gonna fly in this beginner mode a little bit longer, but look at that. Slick little plane. I love the fact that it can do takeoffs and landings in grass, and we saw this flying at the Horizon RC Fest, and I saw people take off and land in the grass in their field, so that's really nice. Let's see, we do also have an arm and disarm switch that I should have demonstrated before I took off.
You will, because we haven't filmed the beginning yet.
Okay.
YouTube movie magic.
I can show that before the takeoff, that's right. Okay, nice last flyby in the auto stable mode. And now I want to do the intermediate mode and see how that feels. So it's the top left switch here on the transmitter. I'm just going to go to the intermediate mode. Boom, I'm there in it. I think it's going to let me, yeah, it's going to let me do a little bit more. I can bank, well, that's almost lets me roll all the way over. There's a full bank. Everything is way snappier now. Probably hard to see out there, but I wanted to make sure I had some recovery space since I'm trying a different flight mode. It definitely doesn't auto level as fast, but it does some. Okay, so as I bank and I let off the stick, it comes back to center very slowly. This is a good little trainer mode that won't let you bank all the way over when you're rolling. See that? I can't go all the way over, about vertical on the wing. So that's nice. You can't accidentally get the plane upside down, but I wonder, will it let us do a loop in intermediate mode? Let's try. Pulling back, and no, it will not. So this intermediate mode gives us more throw and more control over the plane without letting us go upside down. See, it just kind of jarred right there, stopping me dead in my tracks. I'm pushing full over right now, and I cannot roll this plane. So now I have to know, can we do loops in the advanced flight mode? I think we can. Let's go ahead and pull that into advanced mode. I shouldn't have anything auto level on now. So as I come left to right, because of the wind being to our back here, I'll try my first loop with this plane, which is very easy to fly, by the way. You ready? Loop. Give some throttle. Okay.
No.
Well, I need to get a little bit more wind into the nose and a little bit more juice. Here we go. Trying to loop now. There we go. Nice wide loop. I just needed some more throttle. And that's the thing about a first flight on a plane. You really got to learn how the plane likes to fly. And so now I'm interested to see if we can do some rolls. Let's zoom out here with a little bit more altitude because it might be sluggish. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice roll. That wasn't bad at all. In the highest rate and in the advanced mode, this is a fairly agile plane, but definitely beginner friendly. So let's do some more stuff coming at us a little closer. Ready? Doing a roll into a loop. Oh, a little crooked because of the wind just hitting us on our side. All right, let's have a little bit of fun with this now. I'm feeling a little more comfortable, knocking the rust off.
You're at like 4.5 minutes of flight.
Okay, good to know. Thank you very much. See how we can do on vertical climb? It's okay, not bad. Definitely peaked out at maybe 30 feet or so there and just needed to level off, but hey, we're having fun with this plane. This is nice. Very good beginner friendly plane with that prop in the back, making it a lot more durable on landings, a lot more forgiving, and those big wheels really are nice for grass takeoffs. Here we go, let's do some rolls now. Oh yeah. And I'm curious to know if we can fly this inverted. It's probably gonna be a little bit of a struggle, so let's line it up right. I'll do it from right to left, over Death Valley. We'll go into a loop and then try some inverted flight. I think Gary did this at Horizon RC Fest, if I remember right. Just full throttle, baby. We are upside down, and it's a little bit scary out there being upside down over Death Valley, but I think we got it. think we got it. The wind is rocking me around pretty good. I'm just not a very good inverted pilot, but we're upside down.
Not bad for your first try.
I guess. It's a little sloppy, a little ugly. And we'll roll out of that before we hit the ground, so. Fun to fly, fun to fly. Pretty quick little booger, and it can fight this wind really well.
While we were at Horizon RC Fest, see, I had Amelia most of the time, so my experience was baby watcher.
Yeah.
Caretaker, playing mom. But a ton of you guys came up to me and told me that we needed to get this AeroScout. And I know a lot of you are gonna wonder, why am I not flying in this video? Well, I'm very rusty. So I told Nate, I said, why don't you fly it for the first review, initial thoughts, and then I wanna get some stick time on this, and then we'll do a follow-up video, and I'll tell you what I think about it, my experience and everything. So that's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
I'm a chicken.
I think on the follow-up too, what we're gonna do is get a little race drone chase footage. So if Abby feels pretty comfortable with it, and I think you will, because it's a very docile flyer in that beginner mode, you're gonna like it a lot, feel comfortable flying it on your own, and then that means I can chase you with the race drone. So even in this advanced flight mode, where I'm able to do some more, a little bit more maneuvers, you know, it's pretty docile. And even on the box it says beginner friendly, skill level 1, don't need to know much about flying, because watch, if we panic and we're in this advanced mode and I'm like upside down, I throw my switch and it auto levels and I'm hands-free now.
Yeah, all he did was flick the switch and it did all the rest.
Yes, it brought me back over to right side up. Now this plane doesn't have a GPS, so it would fly away forever, but all you have to do is just push the right stick all the way right or all the way left and commit to it, and you're gonna come back. So you see I'm flying away, I'm just pushing left with some throttle, and now that I know the plane is facing back toward me, I just let it come back to me. Awesome little plane, awesome little plane. Well, I think what I want to do is land this in the auto stabilization mode to see how easy it is. So I'm lining up my landing. When you land, you want to go farther, as far away as you possibly can, really. That's how I feel comfortable landing. And then line it up, drop your wings down, get it low, and bleed off the speed. Just let that plane slow down.
You got a dog creeping up on you, just so you know.
Oh man, that scared me.
That's why I warned you.
He licked the back of my leg, and as I was landing, oh my gosh, what's up, Coda? Hey buddy. Well, what an awesome, well-rounded plane. I can hear the auto stabilization working now because that's the flight mode that I'm in. I can turn that off, and there's still a little bit going on. If the plane would jar quickly in the air from the wind, it does help to stabilize that out just a tiny bit. Overall though, I'm really happy with this performance. I love that we have a steerable wheel on the front, and it just had enough power to do exactly what I wanted with it. Bearing in mind that it's a very beginner friendly plane. You don't want to push this too far past its limits. It's certainly not a 3D plane, but I don't know that there is an airplane out there that is a 3D plane and also beginner friendly. It's good to start with something like this, or maybe this exact plane, and then work your way through the progressing skill levels on this plane. Maybe pick up a Warbird after that, then touch into some 3D flying planes that also have flight stabilization that could help you progress into being able to flying awesome 3D stunts. Well, the most standout features for me on this are the stabilized modes, the 3 different flight modes, and the fact that we have these awesome wheels on here, the landing gear. Just right out of the box, I got this thing in the air, and I kid you not, about 5 minutes. One of the quickest, easiest things I've ever put together.
And he didn't get mad, which made me happy.
No frustration at all while building this.
Frustration-free build.
I want to show you guys the tail section of this plane. Abby, if you could get a shot of that.
Yep.
You can see how windy it is. It's pushing my plane around. The entire thing moves. Do you see that? Yep. Rather than having a crease there. Yeah. So we're getting very windy now. So I'm just going to wrap this up. Nice 4-channel plane with awesome flight stabilization. Any beginner or pro alike would have a really good time flying this. And I think it comes in at a good price. We'll have a link in the description box below if you guys want to check it out for yourself. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye!